Is Trump trying to liberate Cuba for benevolent intentions, or is this all a distraction from the Epstein files? I think that is ridiculous, that this is all just a distraction from something that's already quite public. And the Biden administration had the Epstein files. And if Trump were going to be in trouble, he would have they would have milked it for all it was worth. I mean, think of all the lawfare they threw his way. And think of all the people who've already been exposed by the Epstein files, why people continue to focus on this. And if you want to sound intellectual, there's better ways of going about it than thinking this. And I say this because already a couple of people have told me this, and people who I respect and I love, because I thought more people would be, especially since my family is Cuban, the actual Cubans. Fortunately, I did not have to grow up in that socialist tropical gulag, but for the relatives of mine who did, and I would have thought they had a vested interest in seeing that regime finally go down so that we can have some reunification with the family that's still left over there. I would have thought that the official indictment of Raul Castro would have been welcome news, but apparently it's not for everyone. And that's understandable. It's understandable. And we do need to question our government because that's something that you can't do in Cuba. You can't question it. Making this video, the equivalent of this video in Cuba is impossible. Impossible. You cannot question what the Castro regime does without them finding out and finding you in your home and imprisoning you, quite possibly for easily 5-7 years, and having you live quite the miserable existence. Much of which, if I were to describe in this video, I'd have it restricted and quite possibly even taken down. With what they do over there, there's already enough words that you're not supposed to speak about on YouTube videos. Their torture methods quite possibly fall under those categories, and that's why I feel like, if anything, because here's another idea that many people think why the Trump administration is trying to liberate Cuba for the midterm elections, for the distraction of Iran. I don't have top secret classified information, as apparently no one does. No journalists do, it seems. Not even Congress people like Maria Elvira Salazar, my congresswoman who I just heard her today talking about this. No one has any information on this. But I would say that this is long overdue. Cuba may not be an imminent threat, just like Iran was not an imminent threat, but they are threats. They are national security threats. They harbor terrorists. They do whatever it takes to try to bring down the ultimate cop on the planet right now, which is the United States. And clearly they terrorize their own people. I would think that just on a humanitarian level alone, we should be deposing these dictatorships. Now, should we also be deposing Saudi Arabia? Because it seems like we are picking and choosing which dictatorships we allow to continue and which ones we don't. Maybe we just don't need to. Yeah, that's the other thing. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And apparently the devil in Saudi Arabia that murdered and dismembered Jamal Khashoggi, which I have him here as well as all these other Cuban dissidents, journalists who I greatly admire and respect. Apparently we're not taking that one down. And I think we don't need to, because it is somewhat of an ally. And it's a shame. It's a shame that is foreign policy 101. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Because unfortunately, the way our species functions is, if there is no democracy and there is no freedom and there is none of what we call Western values, which I think should just be human values, the strong will do what they can and the weak will suffer what they must. That's almost an immutable law of physics up there with force equals mass times acceleration and E equals mc squared. It's just an unfortunate fact. We're getting better as a species. I like to think there's less and less dictatorships. As it is, we already have less and less monarchies, let alone divine monarchies. But it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of involvement. It's a lot of Vietnam here, but South Korea there. You know, there's you win some, you lose some. Okay, and yeah, it's I wish people would think a little deeper, especially people who you know. Everyone has a right to their opinion, but try to inform yourself a little more instead of just thinking that it's as simple as a distraction from the Epstein files. It's ridiculous. And like I said, I think it's long overdue that we take down, and it's within our hemisphere. And it's 90 miles away from Florida, which by the way reminds me of this great joke by Dave Attell. If you look at a map of Florida and Cuba, it looks like Florida is like a giant penis about to just blow a load of bukkake, a bukkake of freedom all over Cuba. That was great. And I hope we get to. There's plenty of Cubans I know that they would welcome. They would welcome that shower of freedom over in Cuba. Look, I'm going to end it on that. I want to end this on a positive, almost lively note. Granted, I'm laughing at, well, it's not my own joke. That is Dave Attell. So I'm not officially laughing at my own jokes, but somebody's got to sometimes. And anyway, I hope this video was somewhat informative, enlightening maybe. As a matter of fact, enlighten up, one of my t-shirts that you can purchase, as well as my original art from the links down below. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, check out the links below for my original art and merchandise, and thanks for watching.